Before we begin, a small note from me. Science fiction has always been one of my favorite genres. It offers not just escape, but perspective. It allows us to travel across the stars, timelines, and broken worlds and still find ourselves in the wreckage. Now, these episodes aim to stay short, but I'll be honest with you. Sometimes there's too much to hold in 10 minutes. Some stories demand more. And even then, we barely scratch the surface of the wonder science fiction holds. So, over the next 5 episodes, we will explore 5 films, each from a different corner of the galaxy. Please enjoy them. And if something resonates with you, let me know in the comments. Not just for these episodes, but for any episode that stimulates your imagination. I want to hear your thoughts, your favorite films, your memories of first contact with a world that changed you. Now, on to Blade Runner. This is The Minimum Commitment, film theory in small doses. Where the rain never ends, the neon lights promise escape but never deliver, and the future is pieced together from everything no one wanted. I'm Don Lawler, film scholar, audio replicant, and someone who's always been suspicious of memories that arrive too clean. Let's get into it. In 1982, a film imagined a future just close enough to feel real. Los Angeles, 2019. That future never came. No flying cars, no off-world colonies. Just the slow erosion of another American dream. We don't look at Blade Runner as prediction. We look at it as divergence. A timeline built from decay and memory. Blade Runner is a story of abandonment, of a world left behind, not just physically, but spiritually, where memory can be manufactured and identity is something you're assigned. In that uncertainty, empathy falters. The quiet collapse begins as the machinery of survival drowns out the instinct to protect anything fragile. The film opens not with space battles or cool chrome textures, but with flame. Industrial fires erupt over the skyline of Los Angeles, a city that's more wreckage than dream. There are no gleaming towers of hope here, only rusted ambition soaked in neon glow and relentless rain. Directed by Ridley Scott, Blade Runner is deliberate and measured. The story unfolds at a walking pace, but every frame aches with beauty. And behind that beauty waits a single, unrelenting question. What does it mean to be human? The film doesn't answer that question. It watches each character stumble toward the idea, some with rage, some with grief, some without even realizing they're searching. Roy Batty, played with wild intensity by Rutger Hauer, is a replicant, a bioengineered being designed to look, act, and even feel human. He doesn't ask what it means to be human. He asks why his existence has a limit, when his thoughts, his fears, his memories feel limitless. He's not afraid of death. He's afraid of disappearing without meaning, of being seen as disposable even after becoming something that dreams. Eldon Tyrell, played by Joe Turkel, is the creator of replicants, a god behind glass, exceptionally intelligent, clinical, and proud of what he's built, yet indifferent to what they endure. One speaks in code, the other in desperation. One sees a miracle, the other sees a deadline. And in that silence between them, the tragedy deepens. If something can mourn its own ending, that grief doesn't need our permission. It doesn't wait for recognition or rights, it just exists, quietly and unbearably beneath the surface of something we refused to call real. And that leads us to the issue with replicants. They weren't made to dream, they were made to serve. They were designed to be expendable, given strength, obedience, and just enough awareness to perform, but not enough time to reflect. On Earth, they are illegal. Their presence is a crime. Their survival, an act of defiance. But the problem isn't what they were built to do, it's what they begin to feel. They are not machines. They bleed when cut. They cry when afraid. Some even fall in love. Not human by origin, but undeniably human in sorrow. A replicant's life is constructed on invention. Memories are fabricated, histories scripted, and they accept it until something inside them says, "This memory isn't mine, but the pain is." That pain is inconvenient, not to the replicants, but to the people who made them. It complicates the lie that they're just tools, and Deckard's job is to make sure it disappears. Portrayed by Harrison Ford, he's not sent to kill them, he's sent to retire them. And that word matters. You kill something that's alive. You retire a product. That's how the corporations want you to think of them. Merchandise, not life. The replicants don't represent a failure of technology. They expose the success of brutality. That's the wound beneath Blade Runner's poetry. A world that mass-produces beings who develop dreams and memories, then denies them a future. That cruelty isn't isolated. It doesn't end at the end of the lab or the reach of a weapon. It seeps outward into policy, into language and spaces, and into the very structure of the world. The city is as broken as the people trapped inside it. It is a tower of contradictions, vertical and broken, crowded and empty, drenched in noise yet hollow with loneliness. Technology is everywhere, but it's tired. Switches clack and buzz, screens flicker. It's the future, but it looks like someone else's past. This isn't dystopia as warning. It's what follows when progress serves the few and forgets the many. When those with choices walk away and call it survival. Those who could took their futures to off-world colonies and left Earth behind like an old coat. Still flickering with advertisements, still humming with energy, but empty. This is what it feels like to live in the leftovers of someone else's dream. The ones who stayed behind didn't choose the ruins, they were left with them. And over time, the decrepitude trickled in, into buildings, into bodies, into memory. When everything around you is crumbling, infrastructure, trust, meaning, the cracks don't stop at the walls. They reach inward. And when truth can be fabricated, when even your sense of reality is manufactured, it's not just the world that feels unstable. It's you. When your world is full of simulations, the lines between memory and programming begin to blur. You stop trusting what you see, and then slowly you stop trusting what you feel. No one embodies that more than Rachel. Played with guarded fragility by Sean Young. She doesn't rebel, she doesn't rage, she hesitates. She questions and retreats. She carries herself like someone imitating strength, but doubting the source it came from. Her memories feel real until she is told they are not. Her confidence falters, her identity unravels, and what we see isn't a machine awakening into personhood, but a person discovering they were never seen as one at all. She remembers playing piano. She remembers her mother's laughter, the way the light used to fall across the ceiling. She remembers a life that feels familiar, grounded, and safe. But as the truth settles in, that certainty fades. Her voice grows softer. Her eyes search for reassurance no one can give. She begins the film composed, even assertive.
You're reading a magazine, you come across a full-page nude photo of a girl.
Is this testing whether I'm a replicant or a lesbian, Mr. Deckard?
Just answer the questions, please.
But once dismissed from the room by Terrell, that composure begins to slip. She isn't just learning what she is. She's losing the story that held her together. This is the heart of Blade Runner's sorrow. Not just that Rachel's memories are false, but that they were given to her on purpose, crafted so she wouldn't ask too many questions. Media scholar Alison Landsberg calls this prosthetic memory. The idea that memories can be implanted, shared, and passed down and still carry emotional weight. Rachel's pain is all the proof you need. Deckard was sent to retire her. No trial, no crime, just expiration. But as he watches Rachel unravel, he sees something familiar. The doubt, the fear, the desperate need to believe in something real. He doesn't save her because she's special. He saves her because he sees himself, a man following orders, living someone else's definition of what's real. They are both expendable, both manipulated by a system that traffics in obedience and discards anyone who dares to feel too much. So, when Rachel cries, she isn't mourning lost facts. She's mourning the theft of meaning. And Deckard, once her executioner, becomes her witness. Memory isn't just about the past. It's how we build reality in the present. Even when those memories are implanted, the feelings they stir are real. And in a world that fabricates the past, believing in the truth of your emotions might be the most radical act of all. Blade Runner didn't merely alter science fiction. It changed its pulse. It decelerated everything long enough for you to truly feel the shift. It made space for silence, for stillness, for sorrow that can't be repaired. It didn't warn us about machines or war or collapse. It warned us about something silent. The moment compassion becomes inconvenient. When empathy becomes optional. Because being human isn't about blood or birth or even choice. It's about responsibility. About seeing someone else's pain and choosing not to look away. It warned us of what would happen when we stopped seeing each other as real, when the light in someone's eyes doesn't register as human. That's when the world ends. Not with fire, but with the quiet choice to stop being human. That's your thought for the day. Minimum commitment, maximum meaning. See you next time. The Minimum Commitment is produced, recorded, and edited by Don Lawler. Music by Max H.